of adults. So if a child, 1-year-old child, needs a transplant, usually father or the mother comes forward to donate, we can remove part of their liver, maybe 20 to 25% of the liver, and transplant a child. When an adult wants a transplant, for instance, a 50-year-old wants a transplant, and his 20-year-old son or 20-year-old daughter or 25-year-old daughter can donate. These donors have to be very fit. We generally choose donors between 18 and 50 years of age, and they can give half of their liver to their loved one to save their life. The amazing thing about liver transplantation and liver is people who are donating half their livers will regenerate back to their normal level within 4 weeks. Similarly, if we transplant half a liver into a recipient, that liver is also capable of growing to nearly the normal size. So both the person who donated and the person who accepted half the liver will at the end have their full complement of liver function. This is very different from kidney transplant. In kidney transplant, they have to donate one kidney, and that one kidney is lost forever. In liver transplant, you donate half your liver, but at the end of 1 month, you will have the same amount of liver that you have at the time of your donation.
At this point, I take a break. Don't go anywhere. We will be back after a break. Welcome back. We are talking with Dr. Mohammed Rela. As we know, organ donation cadaver law is very important. What is the status of cadaver law in India?
The cadaver law was passed several years ago, actually. I think it's maybe more than 15 years. That's something that Pakistan needs to remember. It takes a long time for people to actually start donating. So public education is very important. And also it is necessary to fine-tune. There has been a lot of issues even within the law as to which are the hospitals that can donate, which are the hospitals that can actually transplant. So the transplant hospitals, the donation has to take place in the same place. So there has been a number of issues in the law which needed fine-tuning over many years. Actually, these laws are passed the purpose of the law is to facilitate organ donation so lives can be saved, but the purpose of the law is also to protect the public so people or the professionals are not seen to be taking undue advantage and there is no criminal activities going on. So the law has to, in one end, facilitate organ donation, and in the other end also protect the public from criminal behavior. So when it is devised, there will be some element of tightening, and over a period of time they have to be fine-tuned for it to happen. So even though the law was passed over 10 years ago, hardly any donation has taken place over the years. It's only now in the southern part of India organ donation is improved, and in our city where I come from, in Chennai, we have about 100 donors and about 100 liver transplants taking place a year due to cadaver donation. In the rest of the country, the number is still very small, but it is slowly improving. So it's a very slow process, one needs to understand, and the public have to have confidence in the system before they will start donating to saving other people's life. So public education is very important. Media is going to play an important role in making the public understand that cadaver donation is very important to save lives. So that's the status in India, and here in Pakistan you're in a very early stage. The law has been passed, but the numbers, if the number were to increase, then the public education has an important role there.
Here by cadaver law, how many patients can benefit?
Donating multiple organs is going to save multiple lives. A cadaver person who's died can donate 2 kidneys to 2 individuals who are suffering from renal failure and dialysis. They can donate a heart, they can donate their lungs, they can donate their cornea, and even sometimes they can donate soft tissue and skin as well. Liver generally can be used for 2 people. 1 liver can save 2 lives. Just like we talked about living donor liver transplant, where somebody can give half a liver and keep their own half a liver, you can divide the liver into 2 halves, or sometimes, usually it's divided into smaller part for a child and a larger part for an adult. But actually I have used 1 liver for 3 people, where we have taken 30% for a child, about 50% for an adult, and the central part of the liver, which does not have a blood supply, has been used for hepatocyte transplantation.
Okay.
Hepatocytes, the cells are retrieved, and we have treated children with metabolic liver disease. So no part of the liver is wasted. A little part of the liver usually is discarded when we do a split. I think it's important for you to understand what a split liver transplant is.
Yes, I am asking this question.
Okay. Now, we talked about living donor transplant. Living donor transplant, a liver is divided. We don't use the term split for it. Divided, and the donor keeps a half and the recipient receives half a liver. Okay. In a split liver transplant, it's a whole cadaver liver which is donated. A liver is split into 2 and transplanted, used for transplanting 2 people. That is called a split liver transplant. And I have done this over many, many years. I have one of the largest experience in the world in split liver transplant, where 1 organ is transplanted for 2 people. I've done probably about 400 split liver transplants alone, where two people have benefited out of an organ. But maybe some research needs to be done into exploring options of actually transplanting 3 patients with 1 liver. I think it is technically possible. For example, the 3rd recipient may have to be a very small baby, where we use a small central part of the liver for transplanting. But actually, as a solid organ transplant, liver has not been used for more than 2 people. But a combination of hepatocyte transplant and liver transplant, it's been used for 3 people.
Okay. Now you already discussed split transplanting. Here another term is swept transplant. What is
Swap.
it? Swap.
Swap transplant is part of living donor technique. It's very common when we are assessing patients. For example, a 50-year-old man comes and his 20-year-old son wants to donate for him. And the 50-year-old man can be blood group A, and it is possible for his son to be blood group B. So then he cannot. We have to match blood groups. He cannot donate his B group liver to his A group father. And we might find that there may be another family where the donor is the opposite, B, and then the recipient is A or something like that. In this situation, the 2 families agree, then we can swap the donors. Yes, it depends on their consent. The son cannot donate to his father, but the son can donate for somebody else's mother. So the mother's son can donate for his father. But what is important to remember here is the swap transplant has to be